But now let's get back to the comedy. Our next comic, I think you might have heard his name already from someone in the audience, but give it up for Brian Medansky!
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everyone's having a good night. Yes! So when I was younger, I was like this monster child. Like, my parents couldn't take me anywhere. I would bite people, scream. I would especially get into fights. My favorite fight of all, though, was in the first grade. Was Sean Manso. He was my first grade soccer coach's son. And one day during a game, I saw him beat up my 3-year-old brother, and that really bothered me. Only I could beat up my brother. So the next day, we're in recess, and I see him come out, throw my kickball down, just go right up to him and grab him by the shoulders and knee him. I felt so accomplished. Then I went up in school, my dad was on the phone, he goes, Brian, I just got off the phone with Principal Gordon. Do you know what you did wrong today? Yeah, I didn't do it hard enough. He goes, no, you never knee anybody. So the next day I went back to school and punched him in the face. Yeah! From that day forward, I've kind of learned, that violence is a very good means of solving problems. Words, you don't need them, just be violent. But no kneeing. Nobody. Classic. So, I worked at a summer campus that summer, and my campers were 13, and they taught me, men really do mature. For example, you probably all think, I'm thinking of one thing, just like sex. No, I'm thinking of at least 2 other things, beer and sports. Woo! Another thing is tact. Like a 13-year-old boy would be like, boobs. But I'm mature, I've grown, I've had experiences. So I'd see a lovely young lady and think first, and go, breasts. So I've been eating most of my life now, and a lot of it at restaurants, and I've kind of learned something, that restaurants are a lot like oral sex.
Yeah, of course.
You want your table nice and set, perfect, you want to set the mood with candles and music, and you have to get ready beforehand. Showering is a must, shaving is pretty crucial, and you want to dress nice. You might even call beforehand to make sure you have a reservation. And then, you want to go to a place with great reviews, great service, you ask your friends for some suggestions. And while you're there, you don't want to eat too fast, but you don't want to take forever either. And when you're done, you want to be nice and polite, make some small talk, just have a lovely evening. However, the big similarity though, and it is the worst thing any of you can do, never dine and dash. You have to pay, and frankly, you should leave a tip.
He's not circumcised.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So I was in my anatomy lab the other week. We were going over the bones for our practical, and I was with my partner, and she asked our TA with the pelvis, how do you tell the difference between a male pelvis and a female pelvis?
Ow.
And my TA goes, well, if you can fist it, it's a female. So I thought back to the 1920s when archaeologists were searching for King Tut. They're in his tomb, and there's skeletons everywhere, and documents have shown that he was only buried with women, so naturally one of them was him. And off in the distance, they see 3 skeletons raised above the rest. So they go over to the 3 skeletons, and they go up to the first one, and just use the Gibson 5-finger test, and just fist it. And clearly the first one's a woman. So they go to the second one, and he's like, all right, we'll lay it down nice and neat. And the head archaeologist goes up to it and just fist it. Clearly not King Tut. Now they could have assumed that the third one was King Tut, but the third rule of archaeology is you never assume. So he lays the third one down, goes right up to it, and doesn't go in. So he's like, I probably messed up, gotta do it again. So he goes again for it, and then, no, still not in. The second rule of archaeology is you always try a third time. So he gets nice and ready, does little stretches, and then right before he goes, he remembers the first rule. For that third attempt, use the most extreme possible way of doing it. So he calls the intern from the back, who was only on this mission because of his tiny hands. These are the smallest hands you've ever seen in your entire life. They haven't grown at all since he was a baby. That's how small they were. So the intern, really nervous. It's his first mission. He walks up to the skeleton, kind of gets ready, and then still can't fist it. And that, my friends, is how King Tut was discovered. So I was on the phone with my mom the other day, and I was talking about how, I was doing stand-up for the first time tonight. And I was really nervous. And she goes, why are you so nervous? What's the worst thing that could happen? I was like, well, I could puke, I could pass out, I could piss myself. And I've only done one, so I consider that success. All right, thank you, everybody.